Welcome back to the channel. We are about to dive into the top 10 cartel members. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. At number 10 we have the Ochoa brothers, Jorge, Fabio, and Juan David Ochoa Vasquez. The Ochoa brothers are infamous figures in the history of Colombian drug trafficking. They were key members of the Medellin cartel alongside Pablo Escobar. The brothers' involvement in the cocaine trade brought them immense wealth and power, but also led to violence and political instability in Colombia. While the Netflix series provides a dramatic depiction of the Ochoa brothers' lives, the true story of these infamous figures is deeply entwined with the history of Colombian organized crime. At number 9 we have Carlos Letter. Carlos was a Colombian-born drug lord who played a crucial role in the Medellin cartel alongside Pablo Escobar. He was known for his innovative methods of drug smuggling, which included using Norman's Cay, a small island in the Bahamas, as a base of operations for smuggling cocaine into the United States. Letter's influence in the drug trade made him a key figure in the cartel. Though his relationship with Escobar was often tumultuous, he was eventually captured and extradited to the United States, where he served a lengthy prison sentence before being released in 2020. At number 8 we have Joaquin Guzman Lara, aka El Chapo. El Chapo was a notorious Mexican drug lord and the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, one of the most powerful drug trafficking organizations in the world. El Chapo's rise to power was marked by his ruthless tactics, violent battles with rivals, and his ability to evade capture for years. He became a household name after multiple prison escapes, including a daring breakout through a tunnel in his cell in 2015. El Chapo's influence on the drug trade was immense. His capture and subsequent trial in the United States were seen as a major victory for law enforcement. His story has become legendary to the dangers of organized crime and the global drug trade. At number 7 we have the Arellano Felix brothers. Eduardo, Benjamin, Ramon, Javier, and Francisco were major players in the Mexican drug trade, with their organization known as the Tijuana Cartel. Their story is one of violence, power struggles, and family ties. Ramon was known for his violent tactics, while Benjamin was considered the brains of the operation. Despite their success in the drug trade, they were ultimately brought down by law enforcement, with some brothers receiving life sentences. Their legacy serves as a stark reminder of the brutal realities of the drug trade. At number 6 we have Rafael Caro Quintero, a name that may not be as well known as some other infamous cartel leaders, but he was a key player in the Mexican drug trade. Caro Quintero co-founded the Guadalajara cartel alongside Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, and his role in the cartel was significant. He was involved in large-scale drug trafficking, and his influence on the Mexican drug trade was notable. Caro Quintero's story is a fascinating one, and his impact on the drug trade cannot be underestimated. He was important, influential, and a major part of the Guadalajara cartel taking over in the 80s. At number 5 we have Amado Carrillo Fuentes. Fuentes is a notable figure in the Mexican drug trade. Known as the Lord of the Skies, Carrillo Fuentes was a powerful drug lord and the leader of the Juarez cartel. He was notorious for his use of planes to smuggle cocaine into the United States, earning him his nickname. His story is shrouded in mystery, as there is still debate about the exact circumstances of his death. The theories surrounding his death add to the intrigue and legend of this infamous figure. Fuentes is still a legend to the cartels even after his death. At number 4 we have Ismael El Mayo Zambada Garca, one of Mexico's most infamous drug lords. Zambada is the co-founder and current leader of the Sinaloa cartel, and his name is practically synonymous with drug trafficking in Mexico. Despite a $15 million bounty for his capture, he has managed to evade authorities for years, remaining one of the most elusive figures in the Mexican drug trade. His story is one of cunning and survival, and his name continues to strike fear in the hearts of both law enforcement and rival cartel members. At number 3 we have Griselda Blanco, the notorious cocaine godmother of the 1970s. Her story is one of ruthless ambition, bloody violence, and drug trafficking on a massive scale. She rose to become one of the most feared figures in the Miami drug trade. Known for her ruthless tactics and willingness to eliminate anyone who crossed her path, she was also known as the Black Widow. due to her reputation for killing her husbands and business partners when they became a liability. Griselda Blanco's life and legacy are absolutely fascinating. From her humble beginnings as a child on the streets of Colombia to her meteoric rise as the ruthless cocaine godmother of Miami, her story is one that has captured the public imagination for years. She was a pioneer in the drug trade, a woman who ruled with an iron fist and left a trail of violence in her wake. It's not surprising that her story has been told in various forms of media, from documentaries to feature films, as her life is truly the stuff of legends. At number 2 we have Pablo Escobar. Escobar is a name that's probably well known to most people. He was a notorious Colombian drug lord and the leader of the Medellin cartel, one of the largest and most powerful drug trafficking organizations in history. Escobar's life has been heavily romanticized in popular culture, but the reality is that he was responsible for countless deaths, violence, and corruption. His story is a complex one, filled with power struggles, political intrigue, and an intense pursuit by law enforcement. His rise to power was meteoric, but his fall was equally as dramatic. Escobar's reign as a drug lord in Colombia was marked by high-profile acts of violence and terrorism, including the bombing of a commercial airliner. His political aspiration and ruthless business tactics led to a massive manhunt by Colombian authorities, which eventually led to his death in a shootout with police in 1993. But before we get to number 1, I would like you to hit the like button and subscribe. At number 1 we have Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, also known as El Padrino or the Godfather. He was one of the founders of the Guadalajara Cartel, a powerful drug trafficking organization that rose to prominence in the 1980s. Gallardo's career in organized crime was both fascinating and deadly, and he has been described as one of the most important figures in the history of the Mexican drug trade. Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, or El Padrino, had a remarkable rise to power in the Mexican drug trade. His criminal career began in the 1970s, when he started trafficking marijuana from Sinaloa to the United States. He later expanded his business into cocaine, forming alliances with Colombian cartels and creating the Guadalajara Cartel. His influence and power grew rapidly, and he became known as the Godfather of Mexico. Drug trafficking, controlling a vast network of smugglers, assassins, and corrupt officials. Gallardo's rise to power was marked by cunning, ambition, and ruthless violence. The downfall of Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo was primarily due to his involvement in the murder of D-Agent Enrique Kiki Camarena in 1985. The murder, which was ordered by Gallardo himself, caused an international outcry and led to increased pressure on Mexican authorities to bring Gallardo to justice. This in turn led to the dismantling of the Guadalajara Cartel, which had been controlled by Gallardo for years. He was eventually arrested and sentenced to 40 years in prison. The Camarena case served as a turning point in the Mexican drug trade, and Gallardo's downfall marked the beginning of a new era of conflict between drug cartels and law enforcement. If you like the channel, please like and subscribe.